Scorpio, welcome to your end of August 2020 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. Oh my gosh, if I ever have a blooper reel, that would be a doozy because I just have started and stopped this reading so many times. It's not even funny, even from last night. So hopefully I can get through this. This is a spread that is slightly different than I normally do, but basically the same. The matter at hand is the Five of Wands. This is a card of competition, conflict. Sometimes the competition can be friendly, and you do have a new moon in the 10th house of career this week, this upcoming week. As I record this on Sunday, it is happening, well, I'm recording this on the 16th of August, and this is happening on the 18th, so I guess it's on Tuesday, where I live. And so that's going to be in your 10th house of career, maybe some new developments there. But if that's the case, if you, let's say you're getting a promotion or just starting a new job, even though the 10th house I see more as, you know, the path that you're choosing, I feel that anything with new and full moons in the 10th house can be the actual job itself. And if you're starting something new, you may walk in and realize how cutthroat it is. Realize that it's, or if you recently started, you might be thinking, I'm saying recently, I think it would be more something that you're going to be contending with in the next couple of weeks. And because the new moon is coming up, I'm assuming it hasn't happened yet. But the point is that whether this is something that is already a known fact as far as you're concerned or something that you will soon discover, the point is that Scorpios don't shy away from conflict. You have a co-ruler of Mars along with Pluto. Those are both fierce planets. Okay, so they're not easily scared off. You know, Mars is the god of war, after all. But the problem is that even when people think that they are having a good time or that they're stimulating themselves by getting those competitive juices flowing, what can often happen is they don't realize how toxic it is. They don't realize what the cost is to their mental and physical well-being, sometimes until after the fact, after they, you know, maybe are let go, or like in the case of the furlough, they, you know, are laid off for a certain amount of time. I said the furlough, I meant the shutdown. Some people were furloughed, which I guess meant that they weren't let go completely, but they were just kind of kept on the bench until they were ready to play ball again. But sometimes that can give you a perspective that makes you realize what a dog-eat-dog environment it is. However, I won't say that that's going to be exclusively for all of you. For some of you, this may be a competitive situation because you're working with such brilliant people that it makes you up your game, and that's a good thing. Because we have in the past position the Eight of Pentacles, which is like, you know, maybe training for some kind of, you know, getting a skill, acquiring a skill so that you can have qualifications to do something, or perfecting your talents in some way. And it's only with people who are really good that I think, well, I shouldn't say only, but I mean, I think that is a great way to do that, to better oneself. Because if you're surrounded by mediocrity, and it doesn't mean that the people are not capable, it's just that they're mailing it in and they don't have any drive, it can rub off just as easily as being around people who have a lot of passion. You know, Wands is fire energy and is very ambitious and passionate. And it can create a situation where you are wanting to do your best. You always see room for improvement, and that's actually a nourishing environment. But it can also be something that is toxic for those who it is representing a different thing. And if this is a personal relationship, this may be a relationship that you have worked on, and it you just keep arguing. You might, I know this sounds weird because Scorpios are not the type of people to just be like so submissive, but depending on other factors, if you have like the moon in Pisces or Libra, just some, Scorpio is right next to Libra, so you might have a lot of Libra in your inner planets, and that can make you much more wanting to have harmony in a relationship. And it's just instinctual that you would want that. And if you find that no matter how hard you try, the other person does not stop arguing with you, picking fights, you may blame yourself and think that you're not doing enough. This is kind of a trap that some people get involved with, and I think especially women have a tendency to do this, instead of realizing that it takes two. Now, there was something else I wanted to say, and I hope I didn't forget it, that had to do with that. Oh, I was going to say that this could also be, if you've been experiencing career success, upward trajectory, if I can say that word, in your career path, and your partner has been flatlining with their career, they may be envious. They may be threatened by that, and they may start fights to create a sense of inharmonious circumstance, so that they kind of like lower the vibe. They, create this sense of unpleasantness, so that it kind of rains on your parade, if you will, or whatever. And if you can sense that, because Scorpios are really so astute when it comes to understanding what makes people tick. So the average Scorpio will figure this out. Whether they do anything about it is a different story. If you kind of suspect that this is the case, then you have to ask yourself, why are you there? And also not to give in to that, not to allow, because you might say, well, I'm not going to stand for this, but I'm not leaving today. But you know what? I'm not going to give them what they're looking for. They're looking for a payoff. They're looking for their energy vampire. They're an energy vampire, so they're looking for me to like flip out or get upset, and I'm not going to give that to them. I'm not going to give them the satisfaction of that. And you might feel this sense of like, ha ha ha, you did not get to me the way you thought you were going to. Looking at this from the spiritual perspective, what are the lessons you can learn? Ace of Cups. Maybe it's, if it's unpleasant work environment, it's time to find a job with more of a emphasis on something healing, because that's another area that you excel in. So in other words, if you're in the business, if that's your industry, obviously there's a lot of competitive tendencies because there's a materialistic tendency. The Ace of Cups is more of a spiritual thing, and maybe you can start your own business and still work there until you have established a business, but that's an area that you really excel in. The thing is that it's sometimes, even if you're someone who feels like you thrive in that kind of environment, like I said before, you may not realize how much it's affecting you because you are a water sign. Water signs are naturally empathic. I mean, we all can be, but you guys are naturally empathic, so you kind of take on that kind of vibe, and depending on other factors, it may not like feel like, oh, this is so bad, but it still may leave like a negative charge within you that you don't necessarily want to expose yourself to for long periods of time. If this is a relationship issue, it's time to find someone who you vibe with at a deep level. Perhaps you are in a relationship with somebody, and maybe even a coworker, and so you're both in the same industry. But I mean somebody that you are being very practical about this relationship, and you know, hey, this person is into their career, I am, and I think that that is a good basis for a relationship. Well, you need that soul connection. I think everyone does, but some people need it more than others, and it can really feel unpleasant when you don't have that, and that will make it more likely that the relationship won't be competitive in terms of careers, because that is not the end-all be-all of that other person's life, their career. It might be important, but they have things that, I mean, when you know who you are inside, you're not going to use outward success to define you. That's only when you don't have anything going on inside to be able to turn to. So you need this outward proof that you're really okay, that you're really a good person or a successful person. And, you know, there are plenty of people who, like the Five of Wands, they have no problem stepping over others to get ahead. So they don't have an ethical framework. They don't have a spiritual outlook on life, so they are willing to do whatever it takes. Do you want to be with one of those people? Do you want to be one of those people? I don't think so. What's coming in? The Page of Wands. Start spreading the news. Good news on the horizon, and this could have something to do with developments with career matters, ways that you can exit a situation and have more freedom in your life, because that's what Wands are all about. And the outcome is the Moon card. The Moon card can suggest that your life is moving in a direction which is more about the intuitive and the spiritual. So looking at that center card about competition and the outward expression of your, you know, ego. I mean, I think that, and I'm not even saying in a bad way, but just that outward part. This is more about the intuitive. This can also be if you are embroiled in something in the workplace, it comes out, and then it proves you right. It proves that you were right about your suspicions about what somebody else was up to, and so it kind of like validates you. This can also be a card of if this is like, if your partner is fighting with you, they could be doing something. They might be like trying to start fights because to hide what they're doing, and this could come out. I'm trying to think, is there anything in October, which is really not that far from now, it's only a couple of months, and actually on Halloween there's a full moon in Taurus, the opposite sign of Scorpio, so maybe that'll be the time when everything comes out. Who knows? But in any case, you might be vindicated by something that somebody else was up to. Okay, that's what I have for you, Scorpio. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a personal reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.